Yeah. Like, this is not loyalty to anybody. This is me evaluating.
This is not loyalty to anybody. This is just me making an insane theory that maybe the fact that Trump is so clearly trying to stop us from seeing what's in the files, maybe that's actually his 4D chess move of giving us the files.
Strategically, how you would actually do it in real life. I mean, we all like to say, fucking do it. But if he had come in on the first day and arrested all these people, 90% of the people thought all this shit was fake.
Right.
Okay, and
if he'd just come in and he was like, everyone's going to jail. Les Wexner, jail. Bill Clinton, jail. Dershowitz, jail. Fucking all these guys, jail. Larry Summers, yada yada. If he'd done that, don't you see, they would have all escaped because they'd be all in there at once and then they'd help each other break out. They conduct an elaborate escape plan. That's why he has to do it like this. One at a time and probably not for a while. That's the only way to get it done. Hey, it's the Goblin Queen. I do have something to show you though. Yes, all right. We're going to go through and thank you to people on the Chill Goblin Discord for your help compiling these. Let's go through the dumbest Epstein takes. Because, you know, like people have been going like, oh, the conspiracy theorists were right. The conspiracy theorists were right. Oh, Pizzagate was right. QAnon was right or whatever with the Epstein thing. And it's like, okay, I mean, like they were a little bit right. Yeah. They're definitely more right than a lot of people who dismissed Epstein as being, oh, no, that's just a right-wing fantasy. Completely bullshit. Absolutely no solid evidence. A debunked right-wing hoax that there is a pedophile cabal within the Democratic Party. Or I was like, no, that's a real thing. But that's the germ of truth, and then everything else. Like, we can't give these guys too much credit. Do not. The conspiracy theorists were not right. They were maybe slightly more right in one very specific way than other people, but no, they were still very wrong. They were still very wrong. When people say conspiracy theorists, like people they think of, like I'm a conspiracy theorist myself. Listen, some of my best friends are conspiracy theorists. I'm not saying they're all bad, but you know the kind I mean. And now that we've got like so much real, solid evidence, you will still find these people, as I like to say, digging for sand at the beach, going through the files, finding things that aren't there, when there are things there. Like we just went over the Les Wexner deposition. So much new shit. Like I walk away from that Wexner deposition thinking I thought Wexner was guilty as fuck, but I even underestimated how involved he was. I think he was much more involved than I ever expected. And but let's go through the people who have the dumbest take. So here's a guy, Tim Burchett, representative. He says satanic reports from the Epstein files will shock the world. Now, do we want to call this a dumb Epstein take? I don't know. Maybe that's a little bit, unfair, because it depends on what you mean by satanic. If you literally mean that Epstein is a Satanist, worshiping the devil, conducting blood rituals, child sacrifices, yada, 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 some kind of whatever pagan belief, no. That's not what he was doing. Epstein was not doing anything like that. Epstein was an atheist, as far as I know. Like he was Jewish, culturally, whatever, ethnically, but not religiously. This was not a deeply held religious belief of his. And you know, like a lot of people do say Satanism when they really mean Judaism, but no, like Epstein was not that. Maybe the satanic reports from the Epstein files will shock the world in the way that that's not a thing. There aren't any. Maybe that some people would be shocked by that. A lot of dumb takes. Oliver R. Epstein. Oh, really? Whoa, that's different than normal. Well, it's been pretty bad lately. Yeah, you're right. Here's one. I gotta show you this video. So here's a guy talking about Epstein. Hang on now. I don't know who this guy is, but I will platform him on my stream and show you his message because I think it's important that you hear.
Well, I just made the biggest mistake probably that I've ever made.
Whoa.
In my life.
Whoa.
Last night, I couldn't sleep, looked at the files, started with documents.
All right. So the guy went through the documents. Couldn't sleep last night, started looking through the Epstein files. Okay. Started with documents, moved on to video.
All
right.
And my God.
Oh. Okay.
My God. Bloody hell.
What? What do you mean?
We're living in bloody hell. I had to stop.
Why is this guy like subtly British? Is this guy British, but he's trying to hide his accent, but he says bloody hell like that? Did he say bloody hell? And he was like, I mean, we're living in bloody hell. Not saying that as an expression or anything. No.
Because I can't unsee what I saw. In my life, I watched horror movies. Not even close.
Now, this is where I'm starting to be like, huh? What do you mean? Because, like, I've seen horror movies, too. I've read through the files. I mean, yeah, there's some really disturbing stuff in there, but like not even horror movies aren't even close. Like, I mean, I guess in a sense, I don't know whether there are videos actually that's a thing in the files. There's a bunch of things where if you click on the link on the page, it'll be like file cannot be displayed or something like that. I forget there's some phrase that it gives you. And it's like, oh, and it's because they're listed as PDFs, but they're actually like MOV, AVI, MP, whatever. Like they're video files. So if you just go to the URL and you change it from PDF to one of those things, you'll get videos. And there are a bunch of videos that we haven't seen. So that is it. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. There's no satanic stuff in the Epstein files, just billionaire pedophiles. And maybe your definition of satanic would cover that. I'll allow it, sure, maybe. But yeah, let's see what he says.
Blood-curdling screams of young kids, the fear in these children.
Like what? What do you mean? Blood-curdling screams of young kids? No, I haven't seen those. What are you talking about?
These people are the devil walking earth. The devil is on earth. It was horrible.
He is a fake American guy, right? Totally has a British accent. This is why you can't trust anything he says. This slimy,
it was horrible.
Grimy? Horrible.
Unaliving of children.
He says unaliving.
The idea that they've been unaliving children, cutting up intestines.
Now this is where I was okay, there's a couple of like FBI reports that are very unsubstantiated or whatever that involve murdering young children, but okay. But then they're like, cutting up intestines and eating them. Like, what?
Eating them, unaliving babies.
What?
Violating, essaying these children. I mean, I've never in my life, if you had told me in my wildest dreams, I swear, maybe I'm naive. Am I naive?
No.
But if you told me in my wildest dreams that this kind of thing was happening in this country.
You know, with the Vatican, this whole, I guess that's all that's in this clip. But like people, do you see what's happening here? People are just going online and they're like, the Epstein files show this. He's like, there are babies being cut up and killed and their intestines are being chopped up into little bits. And it's like, no, there aren't. No, there very aren't. Doesn't give you a link or anything. I mean, I guess maybe. But like, no, like that quite clearly isn't happening. I mean, maybe it is happening somewhere, but it's not in the Epstein files. I couldn't sleep last night. I was going through the Epstein files, started with documents, moved on to video. As like, there's 2 sections of the site. It's actually kind of annoyingly difficult to look at the videos, but this guy gets like so many likes and shares off of this. This one isn't even the original post. This is like somebody sharing a clip of it on Twitter. 59,000 likes, 23,000 retweets, 1.4 thousand comments, like 6.6 thousand bookmarks, 1.1 million views. Like it's complete fantasy. Isn't that weird? Like, why would you do like you got to be kind of fucked up to even like make shit like that up. Oh, chopping intestines into little bits. Bro, can someone check your hard drive, please? Anyway. All right, moving on. This one's great. This one's awesome. So this is Real AF with Andy Frisella. You're listening to Real AF with Andy Frisella. And this is a clip from the show posted by the official Real AF show Twitter account. So let's watch.
I see it differently than most everybody did.
Yeah.
I'm built different. I see it differently. I'm not like all the sheep out there, the sheeple walking around with their big woolly wool on them, chewing all the grass. Maybe they're in a fence of some kind. No, I'm wandering around, and I got a different kind of brain.
I see the public being intentionally enraged in order to put pressure so that the people can be held accountable.
So people are getting pissed off, and it's the reason why the Epstein rollout's being handled so poorly is because the only way to bring these people to justice is to make people mad.
That's what the fuck I see.
That's what the fuck I see.
And here's the thing. I could be wrong.
Yeah, you definitely are wrong.
And that's why I say, hey, you can't count on that. Yeah. You have to like do your part to organize and get involved in all these things that we talk about.
In the event that fails.
Correct. The problem is I can't think of another way to do it.
Only way to get people organized is to not reveal the files.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I can't think of another way to arrest heads of, government or
without just saying fuck everybody, fuck the optics, don't give a shit. Like
because dude, if you don't have the public approval for that, you're the one that ends up getting held accountable. You don't think that Trump knows that?
That's what Trump is doing, guys. So when Trump says, "Oh, Jeffrey Epstein, oh, I never heard of him. Oh, you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein?" Like that shit. He's doing that to get you mad because the only way to bring the pedophiles to justice is for Trump to pretend that he's protecting them. So you get mad and you demand justice and you think that there's a cover-up, but there really isn't. And it's the cover up is actually the cover is the thing that is uncovering down. It's a cover down, if you will.
This isn't because dude, like if we find out Trump's involved in this,
okay, cool,
wood
easy.
chipper.
Done.
Wood
Yeah.
chipper. Yeah.
Done.
Oh yeah. If we find out, like, if we get somehow more evidence than we already have, yeah, let's kill Trump. I would kill Trump if I had evidence that he was. I mean, I know there's a ton of evidence already, and you kind of have to be a willfully ignorant, stooge, fucking MAGA cult worshipping, come for brains meatball like me to, and I'm pretending to be that guy in this, to think that Trump was innocent. But if I got somehow more evidence, then I would actually say, let's kill him.
Yeah. Like, this is not loyalty to anybody. This is me evaluating.
This is not loyalty to anybody. This is just me making an insane theory that maybe the fact that Trump is so clearly trying to stop us from seeing what's in the files, maybe that's actually his 4D chess move of giving us the files.
Strategically, how you would actually do it in real life. I mean, we all like to say, fucking do it. But if he had come in on the first day and arrested all these people, 90% of the people thought all this shit was fake.
Right.
Okay. And
if he'd just come in and he was like, everyone's going to jail. Les Wexner, jail. Bill Clinton, jail. Dershowitz, jail. Fucking all these guys, jail. Larry Summers, yada, yada. If he'd done that, don't you see, they would have all escaped because they'd be all in there at once and then they'd help each other break out. They conducted an elaborate escape plan. That's why he has to do it like this, one at a time, and probably not for a while. That's the only way to get it done. Mm-hmm.
Most people have no idea.
Don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good.
How deep the fraud has been.
Yeah, that's just the iceberg.
Right.
And
so
that's only the iceberg. You mean the tip of the iceberg.
That stuff is underneath.
Right. You have all these things coming to light at once. And then you look back at like how he handled Venezuela and Greenland and strategically pretty much guaranteed like that no country can like be in control of what happens after that, something like to me, dude, you don't think that Trump knows that like if he fucking did this, that he would go down in history as the greatest president of all time? You don't think he fucking knows that? And
Is that a skateboard with Big Bird leaning outside the window of a cool 1970s car? I don't know. Let's assume yes. That's pretty fun.
He will go down in history as the greatest president of all time. You don't think he fucking knows that? Yeah, and by the way, I've seen other people saying this shit now.
What's
okay,
that?
Saying what I'm saying right now.
Yeah.
This is so
this is
stupid.
a strategic play. But let's just remember who said it first.
By the way, I've heard other people saying this now, but let's remember I said
nobody was fucking saying shit.
Dude, I hope people do credit this to you. The dumbest opinion of all time. The worst, most obviously delusional thought that anyone has ever expressed on a podcast. And that is really saying something.
Yeah.
Whenever, because now we're starting to see other people.
And we're starting to see I'm right. No, we aren't. And we will never see that you're right.
Oh, I get it.
Who are
now.
very popular saying what I'm saying.
No, who? What other popular podcast has been saying that this is all a fucking fake? No one's saying that.
And I would just like to remind everybody that that was my fucking brain.
And by the way, Mr. Real AF? Mr. AF? Oh, I get it. It is AF because his name's Andy Frisella. Okay. Mr. Frisella, you realize that Trump hates that you're doing this. Trump wants people to forget about the Epstein files. He doesn't want you to be like, but Trump actually wants us to think about the... And he's like, no, shut the fuck up. No, I don't. He's like, I think once we get it out, we're going to see how innocent Trump was and how all these other... Then the other guys will... And it's like, no, stop it.
Brain that thought that out.
Yeah, it's not your light bulb, big dog.
Right.
Guy really wants credit for that. Oh, amazing. That's probably my favorite one. I think that's one of the best things I've ever seen. Yeah. What else we got here? Okay, we got one over down here. What's this? Andrew Tate, Cobra Tate. Oh, nice. This guy, like, he basically is Epstein. Like, the more famous this guy got, this, like, sex trafficker, rapist dude, all kids love him and shit. The more I started to think, like, man, if Epstein had a TikTok account and did, like, manosphere content, the Republicans would just defend him, like, outright. And then that ended up sort of happening eventually. But, like, this dude is Epstein, basically. Like, he is the same kind of guy. He just has a TikTok account. That's the main difference. So he goes, here's a black pill. The evil Epstein lived his life with near unlimited financial excess and luxury. He was connected to the world's most powerful people, giving him a deep understanding and control over the world's realities. He lived to a moderately old age and is now immortalized in internet culture forever via memeing. 99.9% of you will never achieve even one of those things. You'll never be rich or important or immortalized. He beat you in every single metric. You lost to a scumbag. I mean, I feel like Tate is sort of like, he also sees a lot of himself in Epstein, right? Like, he's like, yeah, you think Epstein's so evil? Well, he's more successful than you. Like, what is he really trying to say here? I don't fundamentally disagree with what he's saying here. It actually does kind of like get to me sometimes how nice of a life Epstein seems to have, right? Like, guy had all these fucking houses and famous friends and all these fucking, this island and shit. Like, he had I don't know. I don't want to switch places with him or anything, but it bothers me how happy a life this guy seemed to have, at least until he died in prison. He had like a bad year when he was in jail in like 2008. And then he had a bad month when he got arrested in 2019. And then he died. So, and even in death, he escaped justice. So like, how bad is that really? But to take it like to try and do like fucking manosphere, brokey discourse about Epstein, isn't that like fucked up? Whatever, it's Andrew Tate, He's just Epstein if he was bald and anti-Semitic. Another anti-Semitic guy who seems to really like Epstein for some reason, Fuentes. And I will say, I don't particularly like sharing this guy's tweets, Shadow of Ezra. Guys, this guy is a Nazi. You guys know that? When you see this dude's account, Shadow of Ezra, this guy was a QAnon influencer who became a like actual admitted Holocaust denial, Stormfront, kill all the Jews, Nazi. And now I only see this guy retweeted on my feed by like libs and Kyle Kulinski, basically, and like a lot of people, because the guy posts a lot of the guy's good on Twitter. What can you say? He always gets good. He's got good content. People got to share it. People got to say their thing, and no one really realizes this guy is actually fucked. Like Shadow of Ezra, probably do not support that account if you can avoid it. Anyway, yeah, I remember like this was one of the guys after Q in like 2018 or whatever, 2020, after he kind of dropped off the map. This guy was one of many QAnon influencers who was like, okay, Q's over. We're going to be Nazis now. We're going to be mask off Nazis. Specifically remember reading that guy's like Telegram back in the day. Anyway.
This whole pedo thing, it's like, is it really pedophilia? I don't want to be the one that has to say it, but I guess I'm being forced to say it. It's not really pedophilia, okay?
Okay. Right.
They weren't trafficking 5-year-olds. It was like, they were technically not legal. Big difference, in my opinion. I know that's a controversial take.
Yeah, I mean, that's different. 5-year-olds and 14-year-olds those are different numbers. But and so what? So it's fine? What do you mean?
But that's not really the issue there. Okay, the issue is not that they were barely legal teens, which is what it is. It's horrendous. It's awful. It's pedophilia. Okay, relax. No, the issue is that Epstein is a Jewish spy.
People are like, oh, it's not technically pedophilia. It's phebophilia or something like that. It's another kind of aphilia. But it's just like colloquially though, pedophilia is just a term that we all casually use. This is like how language evolves, Yeah, there's specific words for like, I'm into 5-year-olds. I'm into 10-year-olds. Oh, you guys are gross. I'm into 15-year-olds. There are words for that, but fucking what? When do you really need to make that distinction? What? I'm sorry. We've just agreed as a society. The only one of those words we want to remember is pedophile. And I know there are other words, but I'm like, why would I learn those? You know what I mean? Why would I want to know that? I don't want to do that. I don't want to be the like. Actually, technically. Pedophilia is slightly the wrong word. Like maybe I'll be like, I'll learn like that actually like, the Jurassic period didn't include the fucking Triceratops. During Jurassic Park, you're more of Mesozoic Park, which is the umbrella term for the Triassic, Jurassic, and whatever. Like it's like maybe like you could be that sort of pedantic. Oh, hello. Oh, my camera just went out. What the big? What the heck just happened there? Did someone hack me? It was probably the pedophiles. It must have been the satanic Babylonian druids. What were we even saying? Yeah, see, it would be okay if Epstein was a spy for a majority white non-Jewish country. Well, see, here's the thing, right? Like, obviously we don't fuck with Nazis around here. Nazis are bad. But like, you would think if anyone would be I don't know, like if you could have guessed Nick Fuentes' take on Epstein, wouldn't you think it would be a little bit more anti-Semitic? Wouldn't you think it would be like negative? Like he wouldn't like Epstein? Like, this is where I gotta wonder, right? When you got people like Alex Jones, Nick Fuentes, fucking Andrew Tate, and they're all like kind of riding Epstein's dick a little bit. Or not even, I guess like Alex Jones is definitely not riding Epstein's dick, but he's defending Trump, right? It's they got the same memo as what's her name? Megan, what the heck's her name? Why can't I think of it? The lady that Santa Claus was white. I forget. Anyway, are they being paid off? Like, is this a psyop? Are they trying to make their audiences think that what Epstein did isn't a big deal because it helps Trump? Is that what it is? Like, I honestly don't know.
Probably working with Israel.
Okay.
That's the dilemma there.
Oh, that's the problem. Oh, okay.
Working with Israeli intelligence.
But it's so odd. So odd to have that take. I guess Fuentes is kind of like, he gets big by having these shareable, can you believe this guy's such an idiot? Stu Peters, who is a fucking, anti-vaxxer guy. COVID-19 was staged and pre-planned, cited in the Epstein files. Once again, showing you the power of how many likes and retweets you can get just by saying something insane and being like, it's proven in the Epstein files. But this guy's a anti-vaxxer, Stu Peters, Holocaust denier, anti-vaxxer. This guy's a Nazi. And he goes, I'm owed apologies. And it's like, for what, dude? Like, what is this? TLS? Is that like a news website? What's TLS? COVID-19 was staged and pre-planned, cited in the Epstein file. It looks like it's an article, but then it just says, let's hear your thoughts at the bottom. You see that? Like, it's just like, here's an insane, not true thing. What do you think about it? Like, no, give me the fucking EFTA numbers. Yeah, so somebody brought this up earlier. Sorry, I meant to talk about this. Yeah, Ninsk design. Sorry. Everyone I watch includes a file identifier, so you reference it yourself. There are people doing good work. This nonsense pisses me off on their behalf. Yeah, totally. And it actually pisses me off now when people, even on Twitter, when they post something that's supposedly from the Epstein files, but they don't give you a link or even just like the EFTA file number. And it happens. This has always been an issue in the Epstein case, and probably like just shit in general. Even in news articles, when they're like, the new files released by the DOJ, like for years, it's been such a pain to research Epstein shit when you can find an article about what Virginia Giuffre said in a deposition or something like that, and it'll quote her a couple times, and you're like, fuck, what's the context of that? And there is no fucking link on the page. And I think it's irresponsible journalism for anyone to say shit like this and not include an EFTA link. And I try to do that in all my videos where I talk about this shit. I include sources. I try. Maybe I missed some, but like I always try to include that, because you cannot just say this shit. Turns out, you really can't. You gotta go the extra mile and cite your sources here. Yes, sorry, I should mention this isn't in the Epstein files. It is not mentioned that COVID-19 was staged and pre-planned, and Bill Gates. No, there is shit about Bill Gates. There is some horrifying bad. It does not look. It's not a good time to be Bill Gates right now, but not because of this. Because of getting an STD from a Russian bridge player. Guys, you aren't ready for this conversation from Truth Seeker at Truth Zone. What conversation he's talking about here, I assume, is that conversation where you're like, yeah, you ever notice how Epstein and who's this? Andrew Jackson? Andrew Jackson, right? Yeah, Jackson. Hey, are you ready for the conversation? Let's have the talk. All right, let's talk. Epstein and Andrew Jackson both had the same dent in their chin. Coincidence? 100% yes. Like, what else? What else are we saying here? They're the same guy? I would love to have that conversation. I would love to hear the second word in that conversation. After you say, look, they got the same dent. You'd be like, right, but okay. And are they also the same guy as, I don't know, Ron Perlman? You got a chin dent. I don't really think that I got a chin dent like that. That's a pretty insane one. Who else has one of those? H.P. Lovecraft? Anyway, this one was awesome. This one was great. Big fan of this one. Rumors are circulating about Jeffrey Epstein's DNA being in the COVID shots. That would be so fucked up, dude. I forget how many likes and shares this one got because I think it's deleted now, but whoa, awesome. New information from the Epstein files. I'm incredibly smart and attractive. Yeah, that's a nice way to put a positive spin on it. But yeah, no, I love this one too because it's like, why would Jeffrey Epstein's DNA was in the COVID shots? Like, why? I feel like this one, you got to sort of believe in magic a little bit. Like, you got to sort of think that DNA is maybe like you're not thinking of it like, oh, it's DNA, oh, it's science. You're not thinking of it like that. You're thinking it's like Epstein's blood was put into the COVID shots in some kind of an evil ritual, some sort of a satanic pedophile ritual, a way of, I don't know, turning everyone into, I don't exactly know, a demon thrall of Baphomet, you know? Like, I feel like this one goes beyond science. Because scientifically, that would just be like, gross. What do you mean? Why would it? How did he get his DNA in all of them? How much DNA can one guy have? You know what I mean? Very, very odd. But yeah, this one went pretty far. Here's one. This one's not as crazy, but it's still pretty crazy. Look at this email. Could you make a fresh muffin batch? Walnuts instead? If this email is just about muffins, why hide who it was sent to? Well, I would venture to guess maybe it's because insane people will think that this is actually about child cannibalism, and you would probably have said that if they kept the guy's name in there. So maybe this was actually a good redaction. Who knows? So this is actually another bad take, and this is from another anti-vaxxer. This dude Sayer G pretended to be a doctor, totally wasn't. He was part of the disinformation dozen, if you remember that, during COVID. One of the most effective, spewers of COVID disinformation about COVID not being real, but the vaccines being fake, whatever. Just everything about COVID. This guy was always on the dumb guy side. And now he posted this: the Epstein files just connected a child sex trafficker to the foundations of America's transgender medicine industry. Bold claim. Completely not the case. But there is some interesting things in here. The way that it's presented, though, is completely, transpanic hysterical, right? So this guy is telling us about billionaire funding networks, blah, 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 helped fund the infrastructure of gender clinics, advocacy organizations, and media campaigns, yada, yada, yada. So this guy's been transphobic since way back. He's like, listen, I've been telling you, it's the elites trying to get you to be trans, as if elites give a fuck about that at all. Right, the elite, medical industry guys, maybe they're like, oh, we could make more money if more people are trans. Yeah, I believe there's probably an interest in that. I don't think it's a problem. I think that, I think it's fucked up that people are able to profit off of medicine to such a great extent to begin with in the United States. But I think it's good that trans people have access to gender affirming care. This article is set up in such a, ominous way. This is not a story about social proximity or island visits. It's a story about influence, about who financed, shaped, and legitimized a rapidly expanding medical industry. All right. So this is like Epstein created trans people. He invented being trans. Okay, so this guy, Jess Ting, another fucking Jess. There's so many dudes in the Epstein story with girl names. Could that be part of the trans agenda? Jess Staley? Whatever. Anyway, so this guy, he's a plastic surgeon who in 2016 became the surgical director of the Center for Transgender Medicine. He became very involved in gender-affirming surgical practice. This guy describes him as one of the most prominent figures in gender-affirming surgical practice. Okay, sure, I'll take your word for that. Visited the island. He got a $50,000 grant. And this was for breast cancer research. This wasn't for anything to do with transgender stuff. This is when Epstein was trying to get his brand back, right? And then the transgender pivot. So look at this. Remember this is supposed to be about Epstein pushing transgenderism on people. It says, no, that's not the same thing. This is a message from Jess Ting to Epstein. I wanted to share with you some changes in my career you may find of interest. I've switched specialties from plastic surgery to gender affirmation surgery. Okay, great. So he's like, by the way, I know you've been funding me for breast cancer stuff. I've actually been doing gender affirmation surgery. We would love to get some money from you from that. And then there's no evidence that Epstein gave him money for that. And he's like, oh, I'm making a documentary. He said, making a documentary about gender affirmation surgery. If I could just be really forward, I was wondering if you'd be interested in supporting the documentary. If so, the producer, director, and I would love to come and give you the pitch in person, blah, 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 blah. No evidence that Epstein met with them or agreed to fund the film. That's it. So this is supposed to be Epstein orchestrating world events or whatever. And it's just a guy being like, I'd love some money for helping people, whatever, like gender affirmation surgery. And then Epstein just like not getting back to him. Why even include this? Like, you can't just, and so then we'll move on here a little bit. What happened next is the detail that matters most. On May 20th, 2018, Epstein forwarded Ting's email to Stephen Hansen, a close associate, the subject line, forward, film project. Epstein wasn't passively receiving updates from a surgeon. He was circulating information about the surgeon. Dude, this is in fucking 2018, bro. This was like a year before Epstein died. This is too late for him to have been the fucking father of all trans people, like you're trying to say. Complete bullshit. Moving on here. Okay, this next one, this guy's kind of interesting. This guy, evolutionary biologist, he was into some controversial shit. And again, as I said before, you look at the sort of people that Epstein was funding, a lot of the, research projects and stuff were controversial, like forbidden knowledge, whatever, like race science or something like that. Not all, right? Obviously, breast cancer is not generally thought of as being difficult to find funding for, but like this guy, he couldn't get a job. He was thrown out of Rutgers University. And Epstein was like funding him. And then Epstein gives him a response at one time, "You are unique. I want to see you do a piece on transgender in the bio world. This is for you, not me." Like, he's like, bro, you should do some stuff on transgender. Like, it's not even specific. It's just whatever. And, the dude's complaint. The dude doesn't seem to have actually done this. He doesn't seem to have gotten into trans stuff. And then 3 years later, Trivers wrote to Epstein, "After 7 years of continuous support, you seem to flip. No support at all for the past 2 years. No response to my requests. I'm being offered $5,000 a semester at Hunter College. My God, Jeffrey, rent is $8,000. I would like to eat, have a modest social life, and an occasional psychosexual experience." That's a crazy thing to say. I guess he was in Jamaica, actually. Damn. Hunter College, is that in Jamaica? He was in Jamaica, I think it says here. "Hey, said they loved me, but offered me monkey money, as we call it in Jamaica." What the fuck? What a strange guy. Epstein's response the next morning laid bare. So Epstein says, "I thought you might want to focus on transgender biology. People would be interested and I would fund." Like, to me, I'm like, I think this was Epstein being like, brother, I'm trying to repair my image here. It's, 2018 at this point? 2019. It's like right before he died. 2019, he's like, brother, let me give you money, research trans stuff. That's really hip and cool right now. It's going to make me look like a good person. I'm trying to seem like I'm a progressive feminist right now. I support the Me Too movement, like I'm saying in Bannon's film. Why don't you do transgender stuff? You should do transgender stuff. I'll fund you if you do that. And people be like, but this is presented as though Epstein is like, he was pulling the strings. He was at the pillars of power in the transgender movement. No, he wasn't. He ignored the first guy asking for trans stuff. And then the second guy, right before he died, he was like, man, would you please do some trans stuff? Like, I think I'd like to get in on that market. I want people to think I care about that. Like, we look at the breast cancer stuff he funded with Jess, what's his name? And are we like, oh, Epstein was orchestrating breast cancer as a psyop. He's trying to make us believe in big booby or whatever. And then it's just fucking like, I won't go on. This is actually interesting though. This one, he sends this to Kathy Rumler, Obama's advisor. This is in 2017. And so maybe there's another reason that Epstein was interested in transgender stuff. This is one of his weird fucking stream of consciousness emails that really makes no sense here. He's like, oh, I thought the best Lloyd interview would have to be crafted to incorporate recent headlines. Well, perfect. Blah, 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 blah. Here's the steps I would take to prevent your problem. Women, a new economic hurricane force. Blah, 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 blah. And then one of the things he just says randomly, transgender not yet on Wall Street. Smiley face. I feel like Epstein was like, there's going to be money in transgender stuff. Just one of his many weird financial predictions. Like it's all like you just got to, anyway. So I find this article interesting. I certainly think like the way it's framed as though, hey, you know who's found in the Epstein files? The concept of being transgender, trying to associate transness with Epstein. It's despicable, right? This is fucking like really dark, cynical culture war, fascist propaganda, right? It's a total misuse of the Epstein files. And this guy CRG is a piece of shit. But I did find a lot of the stuff in there interesting. Oh, not familiar with Hunter College or the term monkey money? Okay, there's a dance hall song by the name Monkey Money from the 80s by Womankind. Cool. Is it good? Is it a good song? Anyway, here's another one from, again, it looks like a news article. News, it even says at the top. And then wall at the bottom. Epstein emails exposed disturbing parties for hunting black people. Once again, no, they don't. No, disturbing parties for hunting black people? That's so crazy. That is so nuts. No citation, no nothing. Just, the Epstein files reveal it. Here's another one. Victims of Epstein's Island claim that Hillary Clinton, nicknamed the Evergreen, was one of the worst abusers. This is from, remember when the Evergreen boat got stuck in the Suez Canal, shipping boat, and it fucked up all global trade? There's a whole thing theorizing that it was a signal of Hillary Clinton pedophile, blah, blah, blah. There's a whole, I don't even remember the logic, but it hinged around the idea that Hillary Clinton's secret nickname was Evergreen, which is not true. But yeah, Hillary Clinton, nicknamed the Evergreen, was one of the worst abusers. They claimed that she loved to hunt victims and watch them bleed out onto the ground. Again, no, none of that is true. Based on the germ of truth that Hillary Clinton is married to Bill Clinton, who did hang out with Epstein, and we have at least 4 people placing him on Epstein's island, who does seem like the type of guy you could tempt to whatever, engage in crimes against children of the kind that Epstein is associated with. But Hillary Clinton is just, there are 0 allegations from any victims saying that Hillary Clinton did it. Even in those uninvestigated, unsubstantiated FBI reports, there's nothing about Hillary Clinton. At least that we've seen. I mean, maybe there's stuff that we don't know, but every sentence of this is a lie. Victims of Epstein's island, first of all, that isn't really how it worked. Epstein's island didn't have different victims from, Epstein had victims that he brought to his different properties. He didn't have people who just were on the island. A lot of people make that mistake too, where they think the island is where it all happened. No, the guy had places all over the place. He had houses in multiple countries. They claim that Hillary Clinton, no victim of Epstein's made claim about Hillary Clinton like this, nicknamed the Evergreen. Hillary Clinton's nickname is not the Evergreen. Was one of the worst abusers. Definitely no one has said that. They claim she loved to hunt victims. Oh, was she at the black people hunting parties too, and watch them bleed out onto the ground? No, there are real things to criticize Hillary Clinton for, but people got to make shit up. This is what. Oh God, I've been saying this a lot. This one is one of my faves. Love this one. Love Eric Weinstein for this. Yes, Epstein was spying on me, personally, on my work. Don't you think it is vaguely that no one bothers to run this claim down? How confident is a USG there's nothing there? It would have to be 99.999999%. And yet, I have been spot on about the flag tablecloth. I don't even know what he's talking about there. The flag tablecloth? Come on. He infiltrated my graduate department. Look up Andrew Gleason. Look up elliptic curves. Elliptic curves is, I believe, just like a geometric math thing, right? Let's do what he says. Let's look up elliptic curves. Let's actually do the research here. Elliptic curves. Look up elliptic curves. Yeah, elliptic curves are smooth projective algebraic curves of genus 1. Why would I look this up, Eric Weinstein? What am I supposed to learn from this? If I learn enough about an elliptic curve, y squared equals x cubed plus ax plus b, will I learn something about how Epstein was spying on you? What the fuck? What? Why would he say that? If you really want to know, look up Andrew Gleason. Look up elliptic curve. Okay, fine. Andrew Gleason. I'll look up Andrew Gleason. Andrew Gleason. Oh, a mathematician. He died in 2008. An American mathematician who made fundamental contributions to widely varied areas of mathematics. Oh my God. His theorem in quantum logic in the Greenwood-Gleason graph, an important example in Ramsey theory, are named for him. Oh my God. What? Who cares? Did he meet with Epstein? Is there anything to do with that? Epstein? No. Well, at least it's not on his thing. Andrew Gleason Epstein. Andrew Gleason Epstein. I don't know. It seems to be about Prince Andrew. Let's put Andrew Gleason in quotes. Andrew Gleason. Okay, and let's put Epstein in quotes. No results found. Okay, why did I look up Andrew Gleason? More importantly, why did you have me look up an elliptic curve? What the fuck are you talking about? Dude, you can't just say this shit. Epstein was spying on me. Why hasn't anyone looked into this? It's easy. The information is all there. Look up Andrew Gleason. Look up elliptic curves, etc. Do we have anyone in government with a PhD? Wake up. Look for math.harvard.edu. I can't keep saying this. This is so dumb. What? God, this dude is the best. And what was I supposed to look up again? Math.harvard.edu? Math.harvard.edu. Okay, and the site can't be reached. Doesn't exist. Can I find it on the archive? Okay, it does exist. It does exist. All right, we can look at the old ones. Oh, okay. So there was one in March. What is this? What is this? If these guys are so smart, why do they have a Web 1.0 site in 2025? Curtis T. McMullen, Dynamics Geometry. What? And remember, this is supposed to, something here is supposed, dude, fuck off. I'm not going to do the work. You're literally telling me to learn about elliptic curves. This is the funniest one. And even beyond how insane this is. Do you see Eric Weinstein, his whole thing is he desperately, like, to him, being associated with Epstein is cool. Like, it makes you look like a serious scientist because so many, all these other big academic names, and he considers himself, he's like, I should have got a Nobel Prize. I should have gotten this. I should have gotten that. It's the distributed idea suppression complex, aka the DISC, that's been suppressing my ideas distributively. Like, he's so fucking pathetic. And like, he wants to be considered a serious scientist. So for him, the tragedy with Epstein is that Epstein didn't really care about Eric Weinstein. So good. He wants people to think Epstein was spying on me. Oh, I love Eric Weinstein. He's so funny. All right, moving on. Epstein files reveal that Courtney Love murdered Kurt Cobain to protect an elite pedophile network. Oh, okay. So Kurt Cobain was about to reveal the elite pedophile network. To be fair, Courtney Love is in the Epstein address book, and her name was circled by Alfredo Rodriguez, meaning that he, like, essentially he maybe meant that he thought that she was involved in the abuse or knew about it. But also, I think one of her, it's like circled, and then there's a star or an arrow pointing at another contact in that list, like maybe her manager or something like that. So it could be that he was trying to say it's this guy that knows about it. But anyway, so I mean, there is at least slight connection there, but like the rest of this tweet, complete bullshit. Explosive information buried in the release of the Epstein files by the Department of Justice has uncovered the Kurt Cobain case, directly implicating Courtney Love in his murder and proving that an entire generation was lied to on a cosmic scale. So you're looking at this and you're like, oh, cool. Well, tell me more about that. Nope, that's it. Just that one tweet. Thanks, sweet Marie. Just that. No other tweets. It directly implicates it. It's buried in the files. It's hard to find. Anyway, bye. Nothing else. And everyone's like, what? And look at this. Anyone with half a brain has known this for 30 years. Her own dad said she did it 30 years ago. People are so fucking stupid. Wow, man. Yeah. Anyone with half a if someone with half a brain probably would have known this for 30 years because he only got half a brain. Yeah. Surprisingly, more people than I expected on board with this. Wow, crazy. Yeah. Anyway. But yeah, totally not true. Gotta love it. You can just say Epstein Files and then whatever you want. Epstein Files reveal conclusively that I'm cool and I have a lot of cool friends. The story of Hansel and Gretel is over 200 years old. They told the truth, but we called them crazy. Epstein and created fairy tales and folklores. I don't get it. Is this like a Ben Garrison cartoon where it's got a label on it and it's like, Epstein, is the girl represent Epstein Island? And she's got her head on the boy who represents what? No, I really don't know. But like, yeah, this one's funny because like the story of Hansel and Gretel is 200 years old. They told the truth. Like, I guess Hansel and Gretel told the truth about finding a gingerbread house and pushing a witch into an oven. Is that what they told the truth about? But we called them crazy. What do you mean we? I didn't call them crazy. I think when I heard the story of Hansel and Gretel, I was a child, and I thought it was a pretty cool story. I probably thought the witch was scary, and I thought the murder of the witch in an oven was intense, but and created fairy tales and folklore. What? Anyway, enough said about that one. Oh, all Epstein emails before, during, and after 9/11. Well, that would be everything. So all Epstein emails before, during, and after 9/11. During 9/11, like on the day, have been withheld by the U.S. government. So I don't know if you noticed, that encompasses all of time. Every single time in the world is included in the time before, during, and after 9/11. Like, what does this even mean? And again, like, it's the same kind of thing, right? It looks like it's an article, but it's not. It's got like a symbol. Like, it's so strange. Have been withheld by the U.S. government. Okay, so Epstein did 9/11. All right, I guess that must be it. I guess because he did 9/11, during 9/11, that's all he was sending. He was sending people, we're doing this right now. Oh my God, yes. Oh my God, I love 9/11. We're doing 9/11. Oh my God, 9/11 is my idea and I did it. He was just sending that to everybody. That's why they had to redact all of the emails from before, during, and after 9/11. Okay, and we just watched the Les Wexner interview here. Les Werner's attorney told Wexner, I'll fucking kill you if you answer another question with more than 5 words, okay? Let's hear it again.
Fucking kill you if you answer another question.
The attorney who threatened to kill Les Wexner on a hot mic has been identified as Michael Levy. Was it Mark? Was it you that posted this in the Discord? But somebody was like, yeah, I like how they're acting as though it was a huge mystery who this guy was. Like, no, like, they say his name and the thing. Like, it's his lawyer. Like, it's not a secret, you know? He's been identified. Our digital soldiers have sleuthed him down. Michael Levy. And people really think he was being serious there. All right. Steve Bannon, obviously a horrible guy. Horrible guy. One of the most evil guys. Here's Steve Bannon's plane ticket to the U.S. Virgin Islands a few weeks before Jeffrey Epstein's arrest. Epstein told an assistant to arrange for 2 rooms for Bannon's associates. Steve will stay on the island. Yeah, that's interesting. That's good information, right? And then from that, this person goes, Steve Bannon raped and killed children. What the fuck? What the hell? I ain't even know about that. The dumb Epstein take to end it is this, from r/conspiracy. Guys, symbolism will be their downfall. 666 days after a bloodied white horse escaped from the royal lineup. I don't really know what that means. The royal lineup? Is that like a parade or something? Or is that just like what you call all the royal horses? Is that where they keep their horses? I don't know what the royal lineup is. Is that like a haircut that king gets? I don't know. One of the royals is arrested on his 66th birthday. But then it's like, this is pure satanic. And it's like, so it's satanic that they arrested Prince Andrew? I feel like that's pretty cool. I feel like that's pretty good. I feel like that's kind of godlike. That's kind of good. That's kind of, I don't know, what's the opposite of satanic? Christian? I don't know. Like, I feel like, why is that bad? Some straight up satanic shit. April 24th, 2024, the incident above happened. Exactly 666 days later, Andrew Windsor is arrested on his 66th birthday. There are no coincidences. Yeah, but this isn't even a coincidence. This is just nothing. This is just, okay, he got arrested when he was 66. What happened 668 days before that? Something? Oh, there are no coincidences. Right, there aren't, but this isn't even a coincidence. This isn't even a coincidence. Also, yeah, I agree. This shit looks awesome. This looks like a fucking album cover. This is very heavy metal. It's like, there are no coincidences. God. Okay, this one's interesting. Because it's actually not a fully bad take. You know, it's not fully dumb. I agree with it. But I think this one's really interesting. And I think that it tells you something about conspiracy theories in general, and how they work and who believes them. So here's what it says. People would rather invent insane conspiracy theories like this about weird art, even when the actual conspiracies have been documented and exposed. Epstein pushing the transphobic culture war through 4chan and Reddit, for example. Okay, so this is super fascinating to me because, yes, I totally agree. Like, this is what I've been saying, right? People are digging for sand at the beach. They are inventing. Like, that's what we're talking about, right? People are inventing insane conspiracy theories about weird art or just anything, right? Whatever they want. When there are actual conspiracies being uncovered right in front of our eyes that have been documented and exposed. Totally 100% agree. That is true. That is what started what I've been saying so far. But then the last part I find really interesting, right? Epstein pushing the transphobic culture war through 4chan and Reddit, for example. Now that seems like maybe that could be a real thing that we could have coverage for it. But actually that is also completely invented, right? There's no documentation, there's no exposure that Epstein pushed transphobia on 4chan and Reddit. There's zero evidence of that. We know that Epstein met with Moot around the time Poll was created. And I gotta say that, I mean, that's kind of weird, that's kind of nuts, but it doesn't really mean anything, right? We're not going to assume that everyone Moot met with during the week that he decided to bring Poll to 4chan was a part of some grand scheme to start Pizzagate or QAnon. And as I've said before, the Pizzagate QAnon stuff doesn't make sense either, because why would Epstein, like, that stuff heavily involved Epstein's crimes and probably led to a resurgence in interest in the case that ended up with his arrest and death. Like, that would have been a very dumb move for him. So, like, I don't believe that. We have some evidence of Epstein using 4chan only for porn, but nothing on Poll. We don't have evidence of him on Poll. And the transphobic culture war stuff and the Reddit thing, right? There's a theory that seems like actually kind of reasonable and possible that Guylaine ran one of the most popular Reddit accounts, Maxwell Hill. But again, that's not proven either. We don't know that for a fact either. That one's, I would say that one is much more likely than the 4chan stuff with Epstein that people have been saying. But just to be clear, we don't actually know about that. That has not been documented and exposed. And even if it had, that would be Guylaine, not Epstein. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know that this has anything to do with like a psyop being done on Reddit. And honestly, the Maxwell Hill account was a pretty basic Reddit stuff. It was not. It did not seem to me like it was pushing an agenda. Yeah, there was a couple posts where they're like, we should lower the age of consent. Actually, being a pedophile is not that bad. But like I said, that's just kind of normal Reddit stuff. You know what I mean? Like that's what kind of type of shit that people who use Reddit every day think. But I don't know. I'm sort of like, I think I'm probably like 60% on the side that probably was Ghislaine. I guess I'm over the line. But it hasn't been proven. Yeah, all these dangerous ideas, guys. Yeah, Jeffrey Epstein wanted trans women as sex slaves. I mean, one of his first victims to come forward was a trans woman, a trans girl. Like she was like 16, I think, when she was with him. Yeah, and there's like a really awful New York Post article about it. Does that make sense though? Like just to put a pin on this thing, I do find this really interesting. I think it tells us a little bit about conspiracy theories and which ones we believe and which ones we don't. Like as they go, like a conspiracy theory that encourages people to not get vaccinated or to believe that, families of murdered children are crisis actors. Those are extremely harmful and like awful things to believe and to spread. This one is like, I don't think this really harms anyone. I think this one is fine and this one doesn't make me angry. But I do think that like looking at this more conceptually, like this person, and they're not alone. A lot of people have been saying things like this and the same thing as this, like where they're like sort of similar to like, something as ridiculous as, COVID-19 was staged and pre-planned, cited in the Epstein files. Okay, that's fucked up. No, it wasn't. But to be like, oh, transphobia was staged and pre-planned as cited in the Epstein files. Like that is not nearly as harmful, right? Let me make sure I'm not like putting too much emphasis on this, but like it is the same like general instinct that we have to look to confirm our own political beliefs through conspiracies. Do you know what I mean? Like I find that really interesting. Anyway, No Hate to Cloudy, great follow on Twitter, normally good content. I just saw this one and I thought it was interesting. It really made me think about like what conspiracy theories are. We're all biased towards the ones that like there's not a lot of people who are like, well, I voted for Trump, but I do believe that he is a pedophile. Like I believe he's connected to Epstein. Yeah, I voted for Bush and I know he orchestrated 9/11, but I still voted for him again in 2004. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, I don't know if it's a little hard to make the point, but like, when I think of the conspiracy theories that I believe, as somebody who I like to think has a good head on their shoulders and is able to differentiate between things and avoid this kind of bias, I have to admit, like, it's a pretty big coincidence that all of my conspiracy theories do conform to the political groups that I like and dislike. You know what I mean? Luckily though, my political view is that all politicians suck. So I'm able to criticize both. But still, like I definitely treat Chomsky with kid gloves. You may have noticed on this stream. I'm like, yeah, it's bad. I still like his stuff though. What am I gonna say? There's other people. If it was somebody else, if it was like Steve Bannon, I'd be like, oh my God, this guy's done. How does anyone support him? So yeah, that's all it is. People like to get very condescending about conspiracy theories. Who would believe in that? Oh, who believed in that shit? Like I know, me personally, I definitely probably am wrong about a lot of my own conspiracy theories because they flatter my own political sensibilities. And I think we're all like that, A lot of very insane fucking, babies on the right and the far right have fallen for some of the most stupid, ill-conceived ideas of conspiracy theories. But no one is immune. No one's immune from that shit. We all do that.